right, welcome to the Edmonds Community College pregame show. Tonight's game, the Lynnwood Royals versus the Meadowdale Mavericks. And with me right now, the head coach for Lynnwood, Keontae Bankhead. Coach Bankhead, a tough loss last Friday night, first loss of the season. What's the psyche like of the team right now, knowing that it was such a close game?
They were down for a while, especially it was tough over the weekend for them. It's a gift and a curse because at the same time in previous years, you can kind of tell kids they wouldn't mind losing. Now with the camaraderie this team has and the work they put in and the bond they have and just the expectations they have for each other and this program, losing hurts a little more, and so they were down for a while, and it's, as a coach, it's good to see okay, they're finally passionate about this game to where a loss really hurts them, but we're just keeping their spirits high as a coaching staff, and short-term memory, and then we got another tough opponent this week, and so it's time to bounce back and start preparing for Meadowdale.
And you can always pick up things in losses. Certainly, there's lessons to be learned. Any takeaways from the game against Edmonds Woodway, things that you worked on this past week?
Yeah, man, it's not just this last week. The past two games, it's just the penalties. We just got to clean up the penalties, and I think that's been our biggest game changer this season as far as games go. Is we've been getting a lot of penalties, at least over 7 a game, and that's just unacceptable. And so we're cleaning it up, and hopefully this week we'll have better turnout as far as penalties goes. But I think, in turning the ball over when you're playing tough games, the only turnover of that game that both teams had was, the interception inside our 20, in which they got 3 points off of, which they won by, So we got to take care of the ball and just eliminate the penalties.
Now we're getting into the point of the season where you can start watching the standings a little bit. Right. Obviously, Meadowdale and Edmonds Woodway tied for first place, neither of which has lost a game in conference yet.
Right.
You've got one loss, as does Snohomish. All 4 teams looking like they're in good position playoff-wise, but really you'd like to get one of those top 2 seeds, knowing that they're home games if you can make the playoffs at that point. Right. What does having this loss do in terms of putting pressure on the team? Is that something that you guys have discussed? Do you feel like there's added pressure going into the game tonight?
I think each week for these guys is pressure, especially the hype and buzz they've been getting. I'm just telling them, like, when you get to the top, you gotta work harder than what you did to get there. And I think for this program, each week there's a little bit of pressure, and it's good pressure. And some pressure is needed, for kids to be motivated to go out there and be successful. But this is a great league. Those 4 teams you mentioned, they're all good programs. And it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes out. I think Woodway plays Snohomish Friday, and so it'll be interesting to see. And so hopefully Snohomish can get the win, and we can get back up top. But yeah, having that one loss from last week, it's a tough loss, but. Man, it's good teams out there, and we just taking it game by game, and so that's all you can do, and that's what I preach to my kids. I don't want them looking in the past too long, and I don't want them looking too far ahead. And so each week we approach it as a new week and a new start, and we just prepare as we've been doing since June to win football games. And so no matter where we shake out at, I just think these guys they're gonna be prepared each week to play a tough game.
And the next tough game is tonight. It's Meadowdale. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen from the Mavs when watching their tape.
Man, good program, good running back. They got a couple good receivers, quarterback's decent, and they throw the ball well. They like the quick game on the outsides. They throw a lot of bubbles, and they take some shots deep. I watched the Everett film, and they probably threw the ball deep maybe like 6-8 times, and they're completing them. And so they're going to take shots, and they're definitely an aggressive team on offense. And defensively, they fly to the ball and they get after it. So, like we said in our previous interviews, this stretch of 4 games, Snohomish, Woodway, Meadowdale, Everett, that's going to determine our season right there. Not to overlook any other opponent, but just being realistically, as it's going into week 5, it's a tough stretch of games for us. And so, we all we can do is prepare. But Meadowdale's another good team, and we're definitely going to try to put ourselves in the best position to win that game.
And you know the Royals are going to come out with their best shot tonight. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a little more to the Edmonds Community College pregame show. Coach Bankhead, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Edmonds Community College. Join Edmonds CC in celebrating its 50th anniversary at its celebration kickoff event Friday, September 16th, starting at 4 p.m. on Triton Field. For more information, go to www.edcc.edu/50.
Welcome back to the Edmonds Community College pregame show. Now with the head coach for the Meadowdale Mavericks, Matt Leonard. Coach Leonard, nice 42-0 victory from you the other night. Your passing game looked awfully good there in the second quarter. Drew Tinkstead seems to be getting better and better.
Yeah, it's one of those things that takes time. New receivers, we graduated a bunch of guys, and we also have 5 new offensive linemen from last year, so it takes some time for him to feel comfortable back there in rhythm with those guys, but you can start to see that it's definitely clicking for us. And when you have a guy in the backfield like we do that's named Kellen Marshall, teams tend to focus on him, and we have to be balanced. And I was looking at our stats today. We're roughly 1,230 passing and 890 rushing, which is a good split for us. So it would start to look really good back there.
And I've got to think with a game coming up with the magnitude of what you have this tonight, it had to be nice to get the 42-0 victory out of the way and know that you could rest some of those varsity players too.
Yeah, it was really nice to do our job in the first half, take care of things, play a clean game. We didn't have any silly turnovers. We had a bunch of penalties, which we need to clean up. But to be able to get the kids out at halftime, rest them, and it's kind of fun when you look over and you see the varsity kids cheering on the guys and wanting to call plays and do dummy signals and just cheer on the guys that work their butt off out here for us. And, hey, this week you're Alton Ham and you need to run around and get hit a bunch of times. And they're like, great, that sounds so fun. So it's really great to get them in the game, let them have some fun. It was a really good night for us.
Now, it was a good night to get those guys in the game, but at one point you pulled them out of the game. I know you're trying to preserve that shutout. I'm sure that's something the players all wanted. Shorewood got you down on the goal line there. You brought the first team back in, and they managed to, I think, move them back about 19 yards after that, and you saved yourself that 0 on the scoreboard. What did that mean to the defense?
Well, I think it's an identity. You want to identify as being a dominant defense, and I'm an offensive guy. We like to spread it around, up-tempo, do all the things we do, score a lot of points, but if you can't play defense in this league or in this state, you're not going to go very far. And so kind of having that identity of we dominate people, we shut people out, bring our points per game down, which our defensive coach really, it matters a lot to him. He was looking it up. He's like, we're 16th in the state right now. We need to get top 10. And I was like, okay, man. So the kids wanted it, and then we back them up, then we blocked the field goal, and so that was pretty cool.
And you got the shutout indeed on homecoming night, we might add. Hey, you've got a Lynnwood team coming up tonight that is extremely hungry. I think a Lynnwood team that thought they might be undefeated coming into this game. They lose a tough one against Edmonds Woodway last Friday night. What is the mentality right now with you and your team in terms of, I mean, I'm sure you've told them all week, this is a Lynnwood team that's not going to come in here and just roll over.
No, I mean, I think the message to us has been that, I'm not sure who the best team was in that game. They both, one played one really good half, the other one played another really good half. They both did really good things. They both hurt themselves. I think both coaching staffs going, man, if we just did this or this, we could have run away with the game. But in the end, Woodway kind of stuck true to who they were, and were able to wear them down and make enough plays at the end. But I thought Gradwell's interview after the game was that's a really good team with one of the better athletes I've ever faced. The challenge this week is huge for us, and really whoever wins this game puts themselves in the driver's seat, I think, in the Westco. We win it, we go to 4-0, and we get Woodway and Snohomish next. If they win it, they're right back to 3-1 or 4-1, excuse me, and they're doing okay, and they just got to take care of business and hope for a little help. So we've preached this is a playoff game for us. This isn't the old Lynnwood. This isn't hey, run up a score and get the freshman kids in. We're going to be in a war for 4 quarters, and so we're expecting everything they got, and I know they're going to give it to us. They're a good coach, good team.
You just mentioned the great athlete. The one you were talking about was Alton Hammond, the quarterback for Lynnwood. Talk to me a little bit about what you've seen from him this year, and what are you expecting from Lynnwood tonight?
I'm expecting, and they're fast. They have athletes all over the field. They have a guy at every spot on the offensive position, whether it's Rowe or the running back or DeLon or Riley or it doesn't matter who it is. They have guys all over the field that can score, and they've shown that they're explosive. They score on 3 big plays against Woodway. They score on a kick return against Ballard. They score on big plays against Snohomish. I mean, they can hurt you all over the field, and so you really just got to play each play, read your keys, and play fast and finish the play. I mean, especially with Alton. You know, it's hard to prepare for that guy because he's 5'9", but he's 205. So you hit him in the legs, he's going to run through you. You hit him high, he's going to shake you off. You slow down, he'll run around you. I mean, there's no good answer for him except for 11 hats on him. But at the same time, do your job because they got guys all over the field. If you just focus on 5, 7 will beat you, 34 will beat you, 24, 21, 10, 9. I mean, they have guys, so it's a nightmare matchup, really.
Yeah, but these guys, obviously, Coach, you know your personnel, you know who you're going against tonight. Should be a really good game to watch. So we're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, it's Meadowdale, it's Lynnwood. It's coming up right here. Coach, thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a break right now. You've been watching the Edmonds Community College pregame show.
Edmonds Community College. Join Edmonds CC in celebrating its 50th anniversary at its celebration kickoff event Friday, September 16th, starting at 4 p.m. on Triton Field. For more information, go to www.edcc.edu/50.
Welcome into Edmonds District Stadium here on the Sound Live Sports Network. Two teams 4-1 on the season come into a battle that has playoff implications. The Meadowdale Mavericks hosting the Lynnwood Royals. Lynnwood, a bit of an upset last week against the Edmonds Woodway Warriors. The Warriors coming away with a 20-18 victory that puts them in the driver's seat atop the West Coast South 3A division. But right behind them, Meadowdale with a 4-1 record, 3-0 in the district, or in the conference, and right under them, Lynnwood, also 4-1 overall, and a 2-1 league record. Keith Neely alongside Scott Brudevold, and Scott, a couple of teams we've been waiting for to lock horns, and here they are.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really big game for Meadowdale because if they want to get that West Coast South Championship, this is one they need.
Lynnwood with their little traditional pooch kick will kick off to the Meadowdale Mavericks in the navy and white jerseys. And that will be a first down and 10 yards starting the drive for the Mavericks. They will bring on Drew Tingstad, a 6'3", 220-pound senior quarterback, and he's got a lot of reps over the last couple of seasons driving this Maverick squad, and we'll see what he can muster here against a very strong Lynnwood Royal defense.
Yeah, he's a big young man, 6'3" and 210 pounds. And I haven't seen him play this year, but I heard he's a really good runner.
Tingstad, first play from scrimmage, a pass. It's caught by Drew Harvey, the 6-foot junior with the catch, picks up a first down and then about 5 extra tacked on. So a 15-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage. Nice
pass play out to the receiver. And one thing that I've heard about Meadowdale is they like to run the hurry up, and you can see they're up at the line of scrimmage right now, already ready to go on their next play.
Tingstad has a little bit of a slot eye behind him, a little interesting formation. They'll hand the ball off to the ball carrier. That would be Kello Marshall, who will get the majority of the carries for the Mavericks, 5'11", 195-pound senior. And he lines up just behind and to the right of Tingstad there in that solo back slot. Shotgun formation is Tingstad against the 4-3 defense of Lynnwood. Play action fake, caught over the middle. And still on the run is Halen Roberts. You'll hear his name called a few times tonight. Roberts makes good on about a 28-yard pass play. And already a couple of passes, you can see what kind of arm, what kind of touch that Tingstad has on that football.
Yeah, beautiful ball. And nice route by Haley. Coming out, he's out of the second receiver out of the trips and came down across the field, ran on a skinny post. Beautiful play by the Mavericks.
You mentioned the trips. They have it again on the far side. Now the man in motion, that's Roberts. Back to pass once again is Tingstad. Caught over the top. Drew Harvey again for the second catch of this drive, and another Mavericks first down. They're making Swiss cheese out of the linebackers and DBs for this Lynnwood Royal defense.
Yeah, they're running the hurry up, and Tingstad, has a beautiful ball. I mean, he's right on the money.
A minute 10 gone by here, first quarter on the Sound Live Sports Network. Thanks for being a part of Wesco 3A football. Tingstad with the handoff, And around the left end goes Roberts. He picks up another first down. And I don't think we've seen but one play that hasn't gained 10 or more yards so far in this drive, Scott.
Yeah, and they're using the misdirection. That's what they're doing, and they're moving people in motion. And Lynnwood right now is just not haven't figured out what Meadowdale's doing, and that's why Meadowdale's having such a successful drive.
Well, they back it up. They say he went out of bounds before the first down marker, so we'll take that first down back and make it 2nd down and 1. Marshall just to the left. Up Tingstad in the shotgun. Again, trips. They'll put the man in motion. Here is the play action around the end, and then they'll finally give it to Marshall up that right-hand side off tackle. Picks up the first down easily. And it'll be right at the 10-yard line. We'll see if it's goal to go or not.
Love the way that they're moving people around. Again, Lynnwood's following the man in motion, and then Meadowdale went the other way for a nice game.
So just inside the 10-yard line, the nose of the football will make it a 1st and goal to go on the 10. Drive started on their own 19-yard line. Of already the 7th play of the drive, and there's the handoff to Marshall once again. Again, right side. Picks up 5 yards, so big chunks. Meadowdale able to put together a heck of an opening drive, and Lynnwood defense is going to have to figure out what's going wrong. 9:56 to go here in the first quarter. Tingstad and a short porch territory. They'll hand the ball straight off to Marshall. Touchdown Mavericks. To the goal line, that easy. Make it 81 yards on the drive. And the Marshall touchdown from 4 yards out.
What a great drive by the Mavericks. That's a statement drive. Take the ball, bring it down the field, and get the first points on the board. And it made it look pretty easy, Keith.
Well, you hit 3 different receivers. You had 2 big plays out of Drew Harvey. And of course, Marshall's all you need in the back to get things done off his legs. And there's the kick as Will Schaefer puts it through. And it is 7-0. Mavericks on top. Statement drive indeed. And we will be back for the first drive for Lynnwood when we come back on the Sound Live Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. LT News and LynnwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what you're talking about.
Back on the Sound Live Sports Network. 8-play drive, 81 yards, and now another soft kick. It seems to be somewhat of a tradition here in the Wesco 3A that you only want to throw that thing up like a punt on the kickoff, and you're not going to let anybody beat you with their speed.
I think it's a fad because I was watching the game last night between Skyline and Bothell, and they were doing it too. I think it's something that if you can feel that your kicker can get the ball high enough and get your defense down there fast enough, I think they're going for it. But boy, they sure give up great field position.
Alton Hammond will come in and lead the charge for the Royals at quarterback. 5'10", 215 pounds, also a senior. And he will beat you 2 ways. He'll beat you with his passing. He's got a very high football IQ. He knows when to get rid of it, knows when to tuck it and run. It's the tuck and run that's the other part.
You better be scared of that because once he gets out in the open field, he's really dangerous and he's strong. He's got big thighs. He runs hard and he's fast.
And speaking of running hard, Mikey Kirkman, Lorenzo, 34. You saw him there on the little dive off the left-hand side. Hyphenate is his name. Had an unfortunate death in the family. His grandma, so was hyphenating his last name for this contest. And we are thinking about Kirkman's and Lorenzo's tonight. Kirkman, a very downhill runner, boy. 6'1", 208. He packs a wall up when he lands.
He's a power back, and he's not afraid to take it right up the middle, and that's really nice for Hammond because Hammond can get on the outside when he's doing it.
2nd down and 7. They'll go around the left hand with Mikey Kirkman Lorenzo again. LB almost lost the football, finally does, and it is picked up by Lynnwood. That's a fortunate turn of events for Lynnwood. Kirkman Lorenzo was turning the corner, and it looked like he was going to get rid of a defender there, but lost the football in the process.
I think he was trying to stiff arm somebody, and when he tried to transfer the ball, he lost it. And lucky for him, the Royals got the recovery.
3rd down and 2. Ball on the 45-yard line, and 2 in the backfield. That is Kirkman, and then you see also how slippery the ball is, but how Hammond is able to get through the middle of the line, and they say on that fumble, Meadowdale recovers. So the first turnover of the ball game. Lynnwood's going to have to hang on to the pigskin.
And the recovery was made by number 3, Will Schaefer, a 6-foot, 165-pound DB. And you know what? This is the type of game when you have rivalry, district rivalry, emotions are flying and turnovers are big. And Meadowdale got the first big break of the game right here.
Big plays in high school football can really hurt you or really help you. And in this case, the way Lynnwood has come off that loss to Edmonds Woodway, they really need to get some momentum underneath them and keep their defense off the field. There's the handoff to Butler. Deshaun Butler around the left-hand side is knocked out of bounds. Only picks up 2.
Meadowdale's got a lot of, I want to call them crafty little speed backs. They're not huge. I mean, Butler's 5'8", 165, but they're all real quick. And when they get on the outside, they really get the Jets moving.
Twins on the far side. They'll put Harvey alone here in front of us, and there goes the keeper. It's Tingstad. Will take it himself. Gets a nice hole, a decent hole on the right-hand side. Gets into the linebacking core of the Royals, and that'll bring up 3rd down, the first 3rd down for Meadowdale.
And that's a real nice run by Tingstad. And I think that's the purpose of that also is to keep the Royals from blitzing, because if they're going to blitz, he's going to go right up the middle. He's a big, strong kid.
Keep him honest. Marshall in the backfield, shotgun formation. Tingstad trying the hard count. Now looks over at head coach Matt Leonard for some instructions. Now surveys the land in front of him. Handoff Marshall, 1st down. No, that's Butler once again. And Butler picks up the 1st down. So both running backs, both Butler and Marshall getting time and reps, and that'll help you certainly keep some energy throughout an entire football game.
And especially when they're not the biggest backs, and they're quick kind of scat backs. And the more reps, more time they can rest on the field, the better they're going to be in the 4th quarter.
Back to passes. Tingstad steps up in the pocket over the middle. Caught! Roberts to the end zone. Touchdown. 43-yard strike and a bullet. And like lightning, it's only taken about 6.5 minutes to put up 2 touchdowns if you're Meadowdale.
And it was really impressive as Tingstad took 2 steps up in the pocket. They gave him a pocket, his lineman blocked, and he saw Roberts on that deep post that time, and he hit him in stride. Beautiful play by the Mavericks.
Coming on for the extra point, Will Schaefer. Schaefer with the recovered fumble to set this whole thing up. Now we'll tack on the PAT. All Meadowdale early. 7:10 to go, 1st quarter. And they lead the Royals 14-0. We'll take a break on the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing. 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for $9 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601.com.
It only took 4 plays, but they went 55 yards. You know, it's been just an offensive machine through 2 drives for Meadowdale.
Yeah, I mean, Tigstad, I don't think he's had an incomplete yet. He's right on line. 4 for 4, just looking fantastic.
Caught on the run and a lot of daylight. Raymond Roa's got some speed, and you saw it right there as he charges up in front of the Meadowdale bench. Along that right-hand side, knocked out of bounds, but an incredible return will set up very good field possession for the Royals.
Yeah, and you know, that was a beautiful run. And that time the Royals chose to kick it as far as they could, and maybe see why.
Maybe that's why,
Yeah,
right?
maybe we see why they pooch it, because Royal just had a great head of steam and took it right all the way up to the 44-yard line.
Roa will be in the backfield now with Hammond. They'll put twins on the far side and twins on the near side. So 4 wide receivers, no tight end. And here's the handoff. Roa will slip and fall right at the line of scrimmage. They'll credit the tackle to Alex Maxwell, a sophomore for the Meadowdale Mavericks, 6'2", 220. But I think it was the legs of Roa that just came out from underneath him on the slippery turf. It's not raining, but it's certainly overcast, and it kind of has that wet feel about the air right now. The flag is blowing a little bit toward us here in the press box. There's Hammond, eludes one tackler. Now the pass over the middle, got. And about a 15-yard pass. The receiver was Jared Anderson, a senior, 5'11", $170. And ran a nice little route, a little drag through the no man's land there, right behind the linebacking core and the defensive backs, and Hammond hit him beautifully.
And there we saw where Hammond is so difficult. He had somebody chasing him from Meadowdale, and he just kept his cool in the pocket, rolled out to his left and threw a dime.
Bryce Milne alongside Jared Anderson, who just made that catch here, are the twins on the near side, the near side.
Meadowdale jumped that time.
Andrew Warren on the far side will be one of those receivers. So after the miscue by the defense, Lynnwood will get a free 5 yards, making 1st down and 5 on the 21-yard line. So not quite the red zone, but knocking on the door.
No, and I think this is an important drive for Lynnwood, just for their psyche, to get back after last week and to show Meadowdale they're here to play tonight.
Hand off to Rowe again, slips and falls quickly into the backfield. Was Jeremiah Koo, the 6', 230-pound defensive end, only a junior, but boy, came right off that end in a hurry and just got a fingertip on the shoelaces of Roa and dropped him down.
And again, it looked like Roa slipped. So I wonder if he's having...
He need a little check on the cleats.
Yeah, some cleat problems.
2nd down, back to pass to Hammond. He'll roll out slightly to his left. A nice arcer into the end zone. No good. The penalty flag is down, however, and I think there's more than one. You pretty much draw up exactly what this is going to be.
Yeah, there's no doubt I think it's pass interference on the Mavericks.
Nice job by Hammond to make a catchable ball. So Jashawn Butler, the defensive back on that play, didn't get quite turned around in time. I think about the time the ball got there, he finally was able to get his body turned around, but by then it was too late and he had pushed the receiver out.
And I mean, the only good thing about that for the Mavericks is if he didn't do that, it's a touchdown for the Royals. At least they got it's 1st and 10, but they've got a chance.
5th play of the drive for Lynnwood. 5:35 to go 1st quarter here at Edmonds District Stadium. Roa with the handoff, had a lot of running room, still on his feet, is able to get inside the 5-yard line. And actually that was Mikey Kirkman Lorenzo.
He ran that right over his center, Mr. Jacob Laban, and took it right up the middle. We got a Maverick that looks like Keith Hurd on the field, or down.
Yeah, it looks like we might have a cramp. We got Maverick with a brace on, and I believe that's Jeremiah Koo, the junior we just mentioned, that defensive end. And while they attend to him, we'll take a break ourselves. 14-0 early. Meadowdale on top on the Sound Live Sports Network. Koo comes off under his own power, although grabbing both his arm and then limping just a little bit. They're going to make sure that they hold the line of scrimmage and then until they can get that young man off the field, but nice to see him up and active. 2nd down and 3 with the ball on the 4. The Royals can get a first down inside the 1-yard line. Really only one Mikey Kirkman-Lorenzo touch from pay dirt here, the way that young man's been running the football.
Yeah, he runs hard up the middle. And Hammond runs hard too, so they've got a couple options.
And now Jacob Laban, the center for the Royals, goes over and talks to the coaching staff.
I think he's having some equipment problem with his chin strap.
And now we'll come back and grab the football. It's Hammond in the shotgun formation. And there is the keeper down to the 1-yard line. We mentioned Kirkman, but Hammond's equally as dangerous.
Well, you know, you fake the ball to Kirkman up the middle, and everybody thinks Kirkman's got the ball, and then Hammond goes right behind him, and they're both big, strong running backs. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same play again.
And that's exactly who is in the backfield right now. You got twins on either side of the line. There is the handoff to Kirkman-Lorenzo. Did he get in? He only has to get inside the 1 to get a new set of downs, and I think that's what the coaching staff is after. He did not make it into the end zone, but you get 4 strikes now.
Yeah, and I think he definitely got the first down. Looks like they're going to measure, Keith.
So officials, saying things are just a little tighter than their eyes are willing to make a judgment call, and I like to see that.
Yeah.
I like to see an official just rather than just automatically give it to him. Especially in this kind of situation that you really take the time. We're not going anywhere.
No, we're here. Let's make sure we got this right. I agree with you. And that's what the officials are taught. Oh, it's close.
Boy, it sure is. Nose of the football is 4th down by, boy, it isn't even a chain length. It is maybe exactly that, a chain length on the sticks. Holy smoke. I don't think I've seen one that close in a while.
Wow. So I bet you Hammond's just going to go right over the middle.
I was just going to say, you're just going to tuck and dive in behind your big center.
Yep.
Of course, the Meadowdale team's going to stack the box with everything they have. And you're probably lining 2 up against Laban right now. And see if you can't stop Hammond. Hammond's got some distance. He's in the shotgun formation. I guess that surprises me a bit. Low snap, Kirkman into the end zone. Touchdown, Lynnwood. Kirkman from a yard out.
Big hole there, too. Yeah, I was surprised they went in the shotgun, too. I thought that Hammond would just get the ball out of the center. But, boy, the coaches saw something and made the right call because Kirkman, he walked in.
44-yard drive, took 8 plays. And we're at the 4:28 mark. Lynnwood is on the board in their second drive of the game. It's not that they weren't running the football well when they had it in their first drive. They coughed up the football on the fumble. So we've seen a touchdown in 3 of the 4 drives here at Edmonds District Stadium so far in the early one. The kick is through and good. And we have an interesting ball game. 14-7, Meadowdale on top of Lynnwood. 4:28 to go, first quarter. We'll take a break. Sound Live Sports Network.
We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to help a diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at cc.edu/programs.
One thing we saw there at the end of that touchdown, Scott Brudevold, is a PAT that was pretty elusive last week for Lynnwood. They struggled.
Yeah, and in a game like this, it's going to be really important that you make all your PATs. And, Riley put that through. I think he missed a couple last week. Of course, he plays everywhere in the field. He's offense, defense, and I understand if he's tired, but I don't think he would use that as an excuse. But, they're big. PATs are big because in this game right now, we haven't seen too much defense.
Well, it did cost you a ball game last week.
Did. They lost by 2.
You lost by 2, and you had 2 missed PATs and a missed 2-point conversion in that ball game a week ago against the Edmonds Woodway Warriors. So it really does come down to kicking at the high school level. Here is a fair catch, caught at the 22-yard line. Not a bad move by Will Maloney, the junior.
I think that's a really smart move. You got good field position. You're on the 26-yard line, 27-yard line, and your offense is ready to go. I personally, if you're going to give that to you, take it all night.
Offense certainly has been ready to go since they busted out of the locker room to start this contest.
Very impressive.
And if that's the standard for the night, you're going to see a whole lot of points out of this Meadowdale team tonight.
Yeah, Lynnwood's got to figure out something to shut down those receivers because right now I don't think they've quite yet figured it out.
Tingstad ringing in his hands. Now back to pass. It'll be a little bubble screen. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
By number 54, Nathan Junkin, 6'2", 200-pound defensive lineman. Heck of a play.
And he wasn't the only one there. He had 2 or 3 bearing down on him. The intended receiver was Will Schaefer. And that one passed slightly behind him. Tingstad actually very lucky that went out of bounds. That could have easily gone the wrong direction for a score.
Yeah, he's really lucky that ball went to the ground.
2nd down and 10 with the ball on the 27-yard line. In motion goes Plummer. And now Twins on the near side. Back to passes Tingstad. Under some pressure. Now will step up into the pocket. Has a man wide open. And caught again. Halen Roberts. It's the Tingstad-Roberts hookup. Those two have been electric.
And you know what I noticed on that play is Lynnwood only rushed 3 men. And Tingstad had enough time to go up in the pocket and then threw a nice ball down to Roberts. And Roberts got behind his DB. Beautiful play, big play.
Roberts, of course, on the score, a 43-yard pass play, a drive ago. And so far, with 45 yards, and then he started what is on his own 27, already has 40 yards there. And now the Tingstad run right up the middle, saved on a shoestring tackle near the 20-yard line. And we look like we may have a holding penalty as the flag is in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a tough break. I think they grabbed the nose guard, Laban, and pulled him back. Because Tingstad, he had a nice hold there.
So Thomas Cheney, the sophomore, with the infraction, will back the Meadowdale squad up. And it'll be 1st down and, well, let's see, 19 to go, it looks like. 19 to go, ball on the 39. Roberts already, we mentioned him, already nearing 100 yards of receiving.
Wow, and we haven't even finished the first quarter yet. That's fantastic.
4:08 to go here in the first quarter. Back to pass once again is Tingstad. Feels the pressure. Now he'll step up. And it is caught once again. This time it's Roberts for the 4th time tonight. Scoots past the 30-yard line. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Just past the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Excuse me, 2nd down and 8.
So Lynnwood might have to start getting somebody on Mr. Roberts.
Well, and I'm noticing that the defensive backs are playing a little soft on the corners. And they're allowing them a lot of room off the line. We'll see if they change that. Trips on the far side. Low snap. They'll hand the ball up straight up the middle. And this time Marshall can't get a whole lot of running room before he's upended.
Mr. Junkin got him on from his defensive tackle spot on that play.
And we'll bring up 3rd down. 3 minutes and counting left in the first quarter. Lynnwood and Meadowdale. Of course, we've got a doubleheader tonight. The 8 o'clock game. There's the pass, looking long over the top and into the end zone. Did he get in? They say yes, he did. Touchdown to Will Schaefer. 27 yards on the pass play from Tingstad. The third touchdown for the Mavericks.
That was not an easy pass. He got flushed out of the pocket, moved up a couple steps again, and threw a nice over-the-shoulder pass to Roberts. What a play. What a play.
And he just loved the way that Tingstad feels the pocket develop. He throws a beautiful ball.
He really does.
And he is exact on every pass. And has he overthrown one player? Maybe one.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look.
I don't know if he's had it incomplete. But that's a money ball right there he just threw.
So Schaefer going to try to tack on his own PAT here. After making a great catch, the snap is a little behind the holder, but an outstanding job by the quarterback Tingstad to get the ball down for Schaefer to put it through. And we are 21-7 now. Mavericks on top of Royals, 2:56 to go first quarter. We will take another break on the Sound Live Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
High school football on Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LynnwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. Lynnwood beginning their third drive of the evening here at Edmonds District Stadium. Meadowdale has not had a miscue on offense yet. They've gone 3 drives. They've put up 3 touchdowns and lead this thing 21-7.
There must have been a penalty on Lynnwood on the extra point, Keith, because Meadowdale kicked off from the 50 and kicked it out of the end zone.
Hammond back to pass. Now he'll look downfield, pump fake, finally caught over the middle. Outside to Bryce Milne, finally, in front of the Meadowdale bench. Will pick up the first down.
And right there, Hammond does what he does. I mean, he rolled out to his right. He's a left-handed thrower, took his time. Mill came back, helped out his quarterback, and they had a nice completion.
Hammond, the focus of a very nice article in the Seattle Times this week. And we'll have the author of that article on at halftime. And there's Hammond once again. He gets into the pile on the keeper.
And I think Lynnwood's going to run that play where Hammond keeps it every once in a while just to keep Meadowdale honest. They're setting that play. They're running that play to set up for their next play. Because he's so versatile, he can do so many different things.
Hammond, an athlete. Of course, we mentioned David Kruger will be on with us here at the half. We'll talk a little bit about, of course, that article that he penned about Hammond, who's back to pass now, has to reverse path, and now will tuck it and just turn it up and go get outside the white lines, and we'll see where they mark him out of bounds. They say he got out just past the first down, and that's just the wherewithal. He knows exactly where he needs to be all the time.
And you notice when he was running, so he got flushed out of the pocket. He's running down the field. He kind of slowed up and kind of put the Meadowdale defenders to sleep. I mean, he just slowed up. They slowed up, and then he got the extra few steps for the first down. Just a gutsy, smart play.
2 minutes left here, first quarter. Lynnwood will put the ball now on a first down and 10 on the 44-yard line. Bubble screen out to Milne, caught and in past the first down marker again. No, not quite. He'll be just short of the first down. And a penalty marker is on the field about midfield. And now they'll back it up, which usually means a block of some kind or a hold of some kind when they're actually making sure that the spot of the foul is exact. So they'll erase the Milne catch, and Stephen Weibark flagged for the hold.
And that's unfortunate for the Royals because they have a beautiful drive going, and now they got
moving the football.
Yeah, and now you're back 10 more, so it's first and 15.
Well, a holding penalty and a first and long for Meadowdale didn't seem to interrupt anything they had going. And now Mikey Kirkman-Lorenzo get back to about the original line of scrimmage, bringing up second down and 10.
Yeah, and again, there was Mikey Kirkman's ability to just keep going forward. I mean, he got hit the line of scrimmage. He got 5 yards.
The disruptor.
Yeah, he's just so
he
strong.
just goes and blows people up.
He really does.
And now on the 44-yard line, they'll put Kirkman just to the left of Hammond with 4 wide receivers. And they play action fake. Hammond will roll out. Now nowhere to go, and still trying to get rid of the football. Finally get it to Mikey Kirkman, but it is down. They say the sack is in order. And I believe it was Jackson Foltz that got him, at least one of the Meadowdale, one of two Meadowdale teammates to get in there.
I think Alex Maxwell was in there too, a 6'2", 220-pound defensive lineman. And Alton, as he was going down, he tried to get the ball to Kirkman, but the referee said, no, you're down.
So now a big third down with 40 seconds to go here in the first. Meadowdale looking at their chops. They'd like to get the ball back. Back to pass Hammond. Now will pump fake. Has flushed out of the pocket. Now on the run. Finds a man open. Caught. First down and a huge play. Jared Anderson with the catch, and the senior comes up big.
That was just a beautiful play. Anderson was a lot deeper, but came back to get the first down, and Hammond just threw that ball the only place that he could catch it because the defender for Meadowdale was right there. Nice play by the Royals.
Inside Meadowdale territory for the second time today. Actually, the third time. They've been inside the 50 on all their drives. They just coughed it up once, and that was a costly fumble. Back to passes Hammond. Pump fake. Now he feels the pressure. He'll step off to his right, tucks it, and will turn it upfield. Still on his feet and past the first down marker about the 32. And you're right, it almost looks slow motion.
Yeah, it looks like he slows down just to kind of bait the defender, and then he puts it into another gear. He's just very, very smooth. I mean, that's the only word I'm trying to describe him. He's smooth. I mean, he's got control out there.
And that will mark the end of the first quarter here at Edmonds District Stadium. Lynnwood on the move. They trail by 14 to the Meadowdale Mavericks, 21-7. We'll take a break, bring back quarter number 2 on the rebound on the Sound Live Sports Network.
We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at edcc.edu/programs. Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. You see the north standings there. Now here's the south. You see Edmonds Woodway on top. They were the benefactors of a big win against the Lynnwood Royals last week. And then following up underneath them, the Meadowdale Mavericks, Lynnwood Royals, And then Snohomish and Everett, the two teams kind of in the middle of the pack there. Very big game to see who can stay afloat atop the Wesco 3A, and it's unfolding right in front of us. There's the handoff. Mikey Kirkman Lorenzo stopped, ran into a big blue wall, and a loss of 1.
And that tackle was made by number 57, Hunter Colt. He's a 5'11", 220-pounder. And I'm telling you, that's the first time tonight that Mikey's gone backwards.
Kirkman, 7 carries for 20 yards after the loss. Hammond, 6 for 23, leads all rushers as far as the ground game goes. Now we'll back the pass under a lot of pressure. Almost drug down. We'll try to flick it out. And that didn't look to me like it had an intended receiver. Well, no, Mikey Kirkman Lorenzo is on the far side.
And that just shows you how heads up of a player Hammond is. Because if he'd have got hit, they'd have lost yardage. As he is going down, he flicked it out, and Kirkman just happened to be in the area, so it's incomplete.
That was the first incomplete pass that Hammond has thrown. He's now 3 for 4 for 44 yards. And that was just heads-up football there to get rid of that one. Hammond looking over the defense, and a blitz is on. Now we'll just swallow it up. Still on his feet, he'll tuck it up and try to get anything out of it, and ends up back in a pile at the 40-yard line. So a bit of a trouble manhandling the blitz. Lynnwood bringing as many people up the block as they can, but just cannot contain the speed that Meadowdale has off the end.
And we haven't seen a lot of teams blitz Hammond this year, the games we have. And Meadowdale's finally to the point where they're saying, hey, we've got to blitz him. Now, the only bad thing is if he gets on the outside of your blitz, he's capable of burning you. But right there, he didn't. And the Meadowdale came out with a big play. The Mavericks came with a big play.
So Lynnwood choosing to punt with the ball on their 40-yard line. And they will put Halen Roberts deep, and the punt team will just swallow this one up. And that's unfortunate. Oscar Nunez cannot get the snap. And I imagine right now that Keontae Bankhead, head coach for the Lynnwood Royals, is thinking twice about going for it on 4th down there.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened, Keith, is the center snapped it over his head. And I don't know if they had a play on or what, but the snap went over the punter's head. And now the Mavericks got great field position.
Wow, you've dug yourself a giant hole at this point in time, because the way these guys have been running the football. Well, of course, Tingstad's passing. You can't discount that at all. Halen Roberts getting the large majority of the catches there, and over the top again. You call his name, and suddenly he appears for another touchdown. This time, 33 yards on the score. And we may have a late flag. We do indeed, and it could be against Meadowdale the way they are backing up the bus.
I saw Tingstad after Roberts went into the end zone. He just looked over at the bench and had his hands up. So I'm pretty sure he knows what's going on.
We'll wait the official.
I'm guessing it's a block in the back.
Ryan Fleming wearing the white hat tonight. So Drew Harvey, miscue, will bring the ball back to those of you seen in a football game.
None.
I can't say as I've seen first down and one before ever either.
And you know what hurt on that is you got a receiver that tried to. I mean, he wasn't even in the area when he made that block, and Roberts would have scored anyway.
Now they'll hand the ball off to Butler. Around the left end he goes. Finally not drugged down, but pushed out of bounds. But a first down.
That was a good play by the Mavericks. Butler just kind of cut the ball. And they knew they only had to get 1 yard, and they got 5. So it was well executed. And now they're back, and you know what they're doing is they're spreading the Royals out with this formation, with having the trips on one side. This time they don't have. They get brought in a tight end.
Tingstad 7 for 8 for 182 yards passing, but they'll go to the ground game. Jayshawn Butler, touchdown Mavericks.
That's his speed right there. He just got through that hole and he was gone.
18 yards on the score for Butler.
He's not a big guy, 5'8", 165, but boy, once he gets through the gap, he is gone.
Meadowdale having their way with the Royals on offense. 4 touchdowns in about 14 minutes. First quarter and change.
Yeah, Meadowdale's looking really, really good tonight.
Schaefer on to attempt the extra punt, and again the ball going behind the holder, who is the quarterback Tingstad, who has to whip around 180 degrees to try to get it down and just wasn't able to do it.
And let's keep our eye out. That was a bad snap. I mean, there was nothing you could do about it. Tingstad made a great play, almost got it off, but by the time he got the ball down, the kicker was, there's nothing he could do but hit defense.
27-7 with 10:07 to go here first half. We'll take a break on the Sound Live Sports Network. Lynnwood.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network. My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LynnwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what your neighbors are talking about.
Impressive work from the offensive side of the football for the Mavericks tonight. Perfect on every drive. They've only had 4 touchdowns on every one, making it look easy.
Can't get any better than that.
And now a long end over end kick will back the Royals up into the end zone touchback.
The Mavericks look a little bit crisper, you know, than the Royals. Royals look a little sluggish so far. A lot of football left, 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, but the Royals better get going pretty soon.
The Royals didn't look bad on their first drive, able to pick up a couple of first downs before the fumble. And they take away a couple of big plays over the middle, namely to Butler, or excuse me, to Roberts. Roberts doing most of the damage. Butler has done some. But there's a couple of big plays that really knocked the wind out of you. There's Hammond, handoff 3, maybe 4 yards. Not a bad start on first down.
No, good play up the middle. Run behind that big offensive line and get positive yardage. Nice long drive. It looks like they got 4. You know, that's good first down play. Take that all night.
Lynnwood led 18-3 last week heading into the locker room at halftime. It almost looked like they just tired out in the second half. We'll see if that's the case, if conditioning plays any part in things. There's a catch over the middle. They say it is caught. Did he pass the line of scrimmage? No. Ryan Trong, 5'8", 185 pounds, only a junior, picks up the first down, and that'll help you.
Yeah, that's a nice catch by Trong. And that was, again, Hammond was getting a Meadowdale guy was all over him, and he got up in the pocket and fired it right before he got to the line of scrimmage. Nice ball.
Hammond 4 for 5 now on the evening. 9:28 to go, second quarter. First down and 10 on the 42. They'll hand the ball off to Roa. Side slips a tackle. Now a spin move, picks up 3 more.
And Meadowdale blitzed again. And they came from the right side, and Roa went to they came from the left side. Had 3 guys come in that time, and Roa went to the right, and he got a nice play. So we know for sure Meadowdale is going to be bringing heat. I mean, that we can see that's their strategy right now, is to bring the heat to them. We're just going to see how it works out.
4-3 defense for the Mavericks. And 4 wide receivers, very familiar set. Play action pass to Roa, and then now I'll have to get rid of it. Finally finds Roa out on the flat. First down and then some. Picks up a huge block over the middle. A crushing block by Acosta.
And see what happens. Meadowdale blitzed again, and Hammond, with his elusiveness, got out and made a nice pass to the open man. And then there was Roa and 1 defender. And he got that nice block that you said, and plus yardage. I mean,
First down and 10 with the ball on the 36-yard line of Meadowdale. Lynnwood on the move now, looking for a score to try to cut into this giant Meadowdale lead, and another first down run play with some very positive yards. They're getting 4 or 5 yards out of those off-tackle dives.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Bacon will take that all night long. I mean, and that sets up the pass too. And like that time Meadowdale didn't blitz, which is the first time on this drive I've seen them not blitz, and they still got 4 or 5 yards. So I wonder, it's a chess game now between the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator.
Tingstad for the Mavericks warming up on the track here in front of us, kind of shaking that throwing arm a little bit like he might have hurt it. I wonder what that's about. 7:45 to go, back to pass. Play action pass by Hammond down into the no man's land, and well protected, well covered on the pass play intended for number 9, Andrew Warren. A big, tall target, 6'4", 185 pounds, but the senior couldn't go up and get it. And it was just really good play, man-on-man defense. They got a one-on-one with Jashawn Butler.
And
Butler stuck with him.
And that was one of those plays where you kind of hoping that the 6'4" guy can out-jump the 5'8" guy, and they threw it up there, and Butler was right there.
Third down and 6. Here's another pass, and it is caught. First down and out of bounds. Ryan Truong has come up big twice on this drive. 2 catches and 2 first downs.
Yeah, and that was a real big one. Keeps the drive going. And I kind of see that Lynnwood's moving, using more receivers tonight, using more people in the backfield, and letting everybody touch the ball, which I think is going to be big for them as they go forward.
Noticeably missing so far tonight, Smiley Tatum, a speedster for Lynnwood. And we haven't called his name tonight. There's a pass out on the bubble screen, another 5-yard pickup on first down, and you're exactly right. You'll take them every time.
Oh, yeah. No, that's Coach Bacon's going to be real happy with this drive, the way things are moving.
Brings up second down and 5. They'll call it 6 on the scoreboard. And this drive, remember, started with a touchback.
On their own
Lynnwood on their own 20.
Yeah.
And they've already gone 81 yards. Excuse me, they've gone 61 yards with the ball on the 19. And here's the keeper over on the left-hand side, and a pop of the pads. Hammond lowers that shoulder and bullies his way for an extra 2. But he'll be short of the first down.
And when Hammond lowers his shoulders, usually the defense goes backwards because he's got so much steam. And that was a nice run. 3rd and 2 at the 15.
8th play of the drive. It started at the 10:07 mark, so about a 4-minute drive so far. Good sustained football. And now Hammond will just march behind the big fullback Roa. Or you actually used him as a fullback. And they'll pick up the first down.
Yeah, that's a tough play for the Mavericks to stop because he's going to get a couple yards. I mean, he's just that good and powerful runner with speed and smart.
Lynnwood needs a score, and they won't settle probably. We would guess at this point they're not going to settle for a field goal. He'll use all 4 downs.
I think they're in 4 down.
Trailing by 2 and 2+ touchdowns. Now the pass, and a beautiful one out on that right-hand side once again. And Truong now has suddenly claimed favorite receiver status.
Well, you know, on that one, Hammond threw the ball before he even made his break. That's just great quarterback to receiver. I mean, Truong turned and the ball was right in his hands, and he took it down to the 1-yard line?
First down and 1. And our it's goal to go, but
yeah.
Another 1 yard on first down is all they need, and Hammond will set Roa up to his left. No tight end, and it will be Roa into the pile. Did he get there? He didn't on the first effort, but he did on the second. Touchdown, Lynnwood.
Yeah, that was a second effort run because they hit him the first time, but he kept the legs moving and went around to the left side. Touchdown, Royals.
1 yard, maybe 2 yards by the time you back it up and try again. But Roa will be credited with the touchdown and makes the game that much more interesting.
And now these extra points are really going to be important, so let's see if the Royals can hit it.
Nunez on to kick the PAT. The hold is good, the kick is up, and it is through. And it is 27-14 with 5:46 to go. Meadowdale on top by 13. We'll come back in just a moment on the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. 8 total drives so far in a quarter and a half of football. Meadowdale is perfect, and Lynnwood with 2 turnovers. And Scott, the difference in this ball game?
It's the turnovers.
2 turnovers.
Yeah, because that's both times the Mavericks scored on those touchdowns.
And now here's the little pooch kick, and they will get it about the 30-yard line. Meadowdale will haul it in. Jaden Jackson, a junior, will take it in about 4 yards, maybe 5, and that'll bring up first down and 10 for Tingstad, and he has been nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, he's been lights out tonight. And again, the Mavericks got great field position. I mean, they're starting at their own 37, which I'm sure the coach would be happy with that every time.
Tingstad in that shotgun formation. Here's the handoff right up the middle and stopped. And a big stop. It's Harris Katuk in there along with Nathan Junkin, both off that line, able to stop the ball carrier. That's Marshall. Marshall only picks up 2.
And like you said, Lynnwood's running a 4-3. And so those big offensive linemen, if you're going inside, it's tough sledding, and the Mavericks have been getting on the outside.
There's the play action pass. It'll be a Tingstad throw downfield, caught and dropped in and out of the hands of Jaden Jackson, who wishes he could have that one back because it was first down and a lot of green in front.
He was so wide open. I think it surprised him how wide open he was. And there's your classic example of you got to catch the ball before you run, because he was ready to make a move.
And now he will come out, and it's okay from the coaching staff along the sideline for Mr. Jackson. And now Tingstad, a couple of slaps of his hand, will have to turn around. Can he get it off in time? Plenty of time on the game clock, or on the play clock. 12 seconds. And now the shotgun. Back to pass, and a wide open Will Schaefer once again will pick up the first down.
I think Coach Taylor sees something with the secondary. And like you said earlier in the broadcast, Lynnwood seems like they're playing awful soft because they're getting that 10, 12, 13-yard reception every time. And it's money for them. Coach Leonard.
4:50 with the ball on the other side of midfield. Around the right-hand end goes Butler. He gets a big block, still on his feet, picks up another block about the 40 or 35-yard line, gets the first down right in front of his own bench in a charged line. They were really happy with their work there.
Yeah, they should be. I mean, that was a big run. He got hit and kept going. And like we've been saying, he's not the biggest kind of runner, but boy, he's sure tough. And when he gets to the outside, he's fast.
Twins on both sides of the line now. Tight end on the right-hand side. They'll hand the ball off to Butler. Reward the kid with another 5-yard.
Great run, great inside read out of the shotgun. Tingstad handed him the ball, and he picked up a +5. And now it looks like the Royals are calling timeout. And I wonder if it's a timeout so they can get a rest.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot of kids both ways. I think maybe you just want to regroup. The last thing you want to do is allow another Meadowdale touchdown right before the half. We'll take a break. 27-14, Meadowdale on top of Lynnwood. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network. Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. Great job on the offensive side of things for Meadowdale.
Yeah, they're mixing it up real nice. You go from trips to 2 tight ends to all kinds of stuff. Everybody now they got three spread, and the tight ends kind of playing in a slot position. Yeah, they're moving the ball real well, and they're mixing it up.
Well, even the running backs between Butler and Marshall. Marshall happens to be in the ball game behind Tingstad now. But I think Butler's got the majority of the yards. Now they'll give it to Marshall. He stutter steps into the pile. Ran into some trouble. That hole collapsed in a hurry. Got a great initial push forward with the line. But once that push of 2 yards happened, the hole just swallows up.
That's a big defensive line for Lynnwood. That you run inside, that's tough sledding.
3:51 to go here in the half. 3rd down and 6. Ball on the 29-yard line of Lynnwood. There's the play action pass. Tingstead will step up now. Caught over the middle. It's Roberts once again. And the big play man continues to be just that.
You know what was so cool about that play, Keith, is I don't think Roberts was his intended receiver, but he just got into the zone and sat down, and as Tingstead was moving forward, he saw him and hit him. Nice play, really nice play.
What soft hands.
Very much.
Roberts has had such a, you talk about being smooth. He's such just a smooth, soft touch. And he's not undersized, only 5'8", 175 pounds. You know, that was football weight, football roster weight. He doesn't look quite that big.
I don't think he is.
But
no.
he is one of the biggest playmakers on this Meadowdale team. 1st down and 10 on the 11. This time they'll hand the ball off to the speedster Butler. Around the right end he goes. And tackled him.
Zach Plummer, the tight end, I saw him kind of pull down the outside linebacker. Let's see what the ref says.
2 flags down, so it was more than one official that saw it. So that's exactly what happened. And back go the Mavericks. And that's maybe the exact break that Bankhead and his team need. If you go down by, 13 points in, it's a heck of a lot easier to come out that 3rd quarter than going down 2.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is a big drive for both teams. I mean, the Royals obviously want to stop, and the Mavs want to get some kind of points.
Make it the replay of the 8th play of the drive with 3 minutes to play. And there's the Tingstad keeper, and he lost the football. It's just stripped away. Lynnwood recovers. That almost looked like a handoff to the men in white.
You know who that was, Keith? That was Alton Hammond, I believe.
How he was able to get a paw in there and just take the ball straight away from Tingstad is amazing.
Yeah, that was an incredible play.
And you can call it a lost fumble, but it never hit the ground.
Yeah, that ball did not hit the ground. It just went right out of his hand into the defender's hand.
So now the guy that gets the fumble recovery will step up as the quarterback as they run Roa off the field so they don't get charged with 12 men. And it'll be Kirkman in the backfield and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It's Kayla Marshall playing defensive back that got the mid up.
That was right. Nice play by Kayla Marshall. Timed that beautifully, got up and knocked that down.
So if you're Lynnwood now, you've got the stop. You've got enough time, about 3 minutes on the clock. You go down, punch one in here. The locker room speeches turn a little different shade.
And so does the psyche of the team, yeah.
And now we've got movement on the line, it'll be a penalty against Lynnwood.
Dead ball.
And they will back this up 5 yards. So that's unfortunate.
That doesn't help.
For the Royals. Royals at home tonight, of course, will play again here against Everett on Friday next week. And then Mount Lake Terrace and Shorecrest will finish off the season for Lynnwood. You've got to get past Meadowdale first. Everett has struggled in the last couple of contests. Mount Lake Terrace and Shore toward the bottom of the standings. So you've got an easier schedule. You've gone through most of the tough stuff. If you're Lynnwood, you can get out of here with a win. Picked up! Butler will go all the way to the end zone. Touchdown!
Well, he got right in front of the receiver, took that ball, and took it all the way into the house. Nice play by Butler. Well, he read that perfectly.
Deshaun Butler caught the ball about the inside hash mark at the 20-yard line. I don't think Hammond even saw it.
No, I don't either. He got right in front of the receiver, and he's in. And once he gets around the corner, like anywhere, you're not going to get him. He's too quick.
2:41 left in the half, and Lynnwood reeling.
That hurt.
Nunez on to attempt the PAT. Actually, Schaefer, rather. Schaefer with the PAT, and it is 34-14. Meadowdale, they're rolling. We'll be back on the Sound Line Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LynnwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what your neighbors are talking about.
Take you back a year ago, Lynnwood, with one of their best season in recent history, came into an Edmonds Woodway contest toward the top of the standings and lost big. I think the score was 43-3 or something close to that. And then the following week, met a Meadowdale Maverick team that just snuck by them. So really season ender for Lynnwood right in the middle of the season schedule, and right now everything's staying exactly as it is. You really have a hard time getting past those two inter-district rivals.
They're kind of like their nemesis. And you know, with 2:41 left in the quarter, this, and I'm thinking this is a pretty important drive for the Royals.
I think every drive at this point in time is
but this is going
to
go into halftime. If you could score, and you know, you'd have the momentum, a little boost, and it'd be big, because right now the Mavericks are taking it to them.
Hammond in that shotgun formation. They'll put Trong in motion, so trips on the far side once things settle down. It's Mikey Kirkman Lorenzo now will backpedal his way past the 40-yard line to the 41. A pickup of 6.
Nice, tough run right there up the middle. Got hit, just kept that big body chirping, and got a couple more yards. Nice play.
2:22 to go in the half. David Kruger, our halftime guest here on the Sound Live Sports Network, doing some work for the Seattle Times. Hammond back to pass. Now we'll roll out under some more pressure, and finally has to get rid of it. Finally finds Kirkman, and a loss of 4, and swarming the quarterback is Jackson Foltz. And you've got to say a lot of positive things about the defensive backs for the Meadowdale Mavericks, because they did not give Hammond any receiving slots. There was no No lanes there at all for the big man to throw to.
No, the Royals are being covered, and they're able to bring pressure from their linebackers and DNs because of that.
Everyone blitzing again, and this time Hammond has to step up. Finally rolls around, loses the football for a second, and finally a big man picks it up, but a loss of 5 after the blitz.
That was Jacob Laban that picked it up, the big center. But see, they're bringing pressure because, just as you said, the DBs from Meadowdale are playing one-on-one and locking the Royals receivers down right now so they can bring the linebackers and the DNs, and they're bringing them hard. And Olta doesn't have any time at all back there. And now they got a punt.
A minute 12 to go. We've seen pass plays of 43 yards, 27 yards. Had a 43-yarder returned after a penalty, but you can see what kind of time it requires for Meadowdale to put score on the board. And they may just throw up another one in a $7.
Well, I think they just called a timeout. They just called a timeout because I think the coach wants to set something up for a return. I mean, why not?
We take a look at the Meadowdale schedule, kind of see what's on tap for them. They, of course, tonight is Lynnwood, then Shorecrest. The final 2 games matter greatly, depending on how Edmonds Woodway does up at Snohomish tonight. You see there, you got Edmonds Woodway on Friday, October 21st. And then you got to go into Veterans Memorial Stadium to play Snohomish, the Black Cats, up on Friday, October 28th. And those 2 teams you can circle right there because they may be the most meaningful games depending on how Edmonds Woodway fares against Snohomish tonight. They're up there at Veterans Memorial, 7 o'clock kick.
And every time Edmonds plays Meadowdale, you've got to throw the records out.
So the punt team is on, and here is the boot. Back is Butler, the deep man for the Mavericks, and he says, everybody get away. We'll take the ball with a minute 4 to go on the 36-yard line.
The way Tingstad's been throwing the ball in this first half, that's a lot of time for the Mavs.
Ball placed on the 37-yard line. And you're exactly right. I've been nothing short of impressed by Drew Tingstad. He just has a picture-perfect dart of a football pass. And now with a minute 4, he'll take on the Lynnwood defense again, who seems to have been on the field all day long. That time, one of the few miscues, trying to find Zach Plummer, the tight end, coming across the middle, just overthrown.
And that might be the first ball that I've seen this badly.
Yeah, wobbled. That one, of course, I set him up for that, right?
Yeah.
Sports Network. As Tingstad takes the snap off to his left. Now a beautiful ball over the top, in and out of the grip of Roberts. Had to go upstairs to try to pull it down, and just off those gloves into the Lynnwood bench. It'll bring up 3rd down on 2 uncharacteristic missed passes, incomplete.
That was a nice play by Jarrett Anderson, and he was playing safety. He went over there and he did a real nice job from his free safety position.
The clock in 2 incomplete passes. One here, Lynnwood may get the ball back. Here's Tingstad, now the inside handoff. It's Butler, has stopped in the backfield. Now will reverse course, picks up more yardage, still on his feet. And that will bring up 4th down. He was stopped 3 and 4 times and would not go down.
Kind of remind me of old Barry Sanders. The way he always just
a lot of lateral moves.
Yeah, just kept moving.
And now a timeout. And I don't know if they're going to measure on 4th down. And they say that it's a 1st down.
Wow. Yeah.
So the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort of Jashawn Butler gives the Mavericks some new light with 41 seconds to go here in the half. Tingstad looking left, now looking right, steps up in the pocket. Man open, caught at the 30-yard line. Once again, it's Roberts, still on his feet, refusing to go down.
And now the coach Leonard's telling Tingstad to line up because they wants to spike it.
30-yard pass play to Roberts. 27 seconds as they move the chains. And the chain gang almost, now they'll finally move.
And they stop the clock to move the
And
chain.
that'll set up a nice play for the Mavericks now. They'll get a couple strikes at the end zone.
Yeah. Boy, Roberts is having a half, isn't he? My gosh.
Well, already a 43-yard pass play, a catch for a touchdown. And caught about a 45-yarder earlier, and a one-handed attempt by Will Schaefer. You talk about having a ball game. That young man's playing some receiver also.
Yeah, all the receivers are looking real good.
How fun has that got to be when you've got a guy like Tingstad who can just look up over the top of that line, sitting back there at 6'3",
And play catch.
and just play catch.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're playing catch. Running their routes, and they know he can get the ball to them. And even when the play breaks down, he moves up in the pocket. And if they keep working to the open zone area, he gets the ball to him. So, yeah, it's real fun.
Well, we've seen some blown man-on-man, some cover one. We've seen the blown cover two there in that zone. A little soft spot in the zone is all it took. Tingstad recognized it immediately. Second down and 10 on the 27-yard line. Again, standing tall in the pocket. Now will break down, and he'll take it to the sideline. He wants another shot.
Smart play.
He had Roberts open for just a brief instant before a double team picked him up. And a wise choice just to run out of bounds and leave 12 seconds left for another strike.
Now, if you're the Meadowdale coach, do you think are you gonna run two plays, or you probably got to get another? I'm guessing 10 yards to get in field goal range, don't you think?
Yeah, especially in the high school football. Of course, I don't know the distances for most of these kickers, but yeah, you would imagine you probably run around an out route right here, catch and get out quickly, and see if you can't get into field goal range. Tingstad now will step up, goes over the top, caught it into the end zone, touchdown Mavs. Drew Harvey with the catch and score will go 26 yards, and the scamper into the end zone. Another Maverick TD here in the half.
I guess you don't need the field goal.
You don't.
Man, and again, Tingstad moves up in the pocket. He's sitting back there, and he throws just a beautiful loft to hit Harvey. And, you know, that's a big play right there at the end of the half. 40 points for the Mavs so far.
40-14, awaiting the Schaefer PAT. Tingstad with the hold. And the kick up and through, and we have a 41-14 ball game with 6 seconds to go. Here in the half, we'll take a quick break and come back on the Sound Live Sports Network. The Sound Live Sports Network. A shocked Lynnwood Royals team has 6 seconds to go, and you can tell by the body language. You mentioned it when we were in the break, Scott. It just doesn't look right for Lynnwood.
No, Lynnwood looks a little bit down, and you know, there's a lot of football left. They're not totally out of this game, so let's see what
Well,
happens.
they'll get the ball back to start the second half, so exactly right. You're not out of it. There's the pickup off the turf, getting through to the 34-yard line, and a stop with 1 second left on the clock. And you may just need this thing go down and into the locker room, say, we're going to take a quick break, think about things, and come back in the second half. And now we've got an injured Royal down on the field.
Roa.
That's Raymond Roa, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, a lot Looks a lot bigger to me than the 5'7" they have him listed. The junior, very quick. We've seen him run the football well. Plays some defense. That linebacker spot. But Lynnwood not real deep. You lose a guy like Roa. Of course, we haven't seen Smiley Tatum tonight. But you lose a couple of those players, and things change immensely as the last play will show Hammond get the first down, but they had to go all the way in. You were almost looking for something flickery at that point.
And Meadowdale was playing prevent, so they played the right defense.
Yep. So into the locker room at the half we go. The Action Jackson halftime show coming right around the corner. 41-14 here at Edmonds District Stadium. Lynnwood trailing big to the Meadowdale Mavericks. We'll be back in a moment.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LynnwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about. Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at edcc.edu/programs.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. 41-14 at the half. Meadowdale firmly in charge of this contest versus the Lynnwood Royals. And now we'll welcome in our longtime friend, Mr. Kruger. David, it's glad to have you back in the press box with us.
Thanks, good to be back. How you guys doing?
We're doing just fine, and not quite the ball game I expected. And you've seen a lot of these things. You've been to many so far. What are your thoughts so far?
I think I'm a jinx is what I think. I went to GP Monroe last week thinking it'd be good too, and that was a 60-point game, so I'm worried that maybe it's my fault. But Meadowdale looks fantastic. The offense is rolling, the defense is kind of holding up and forcing some fumbles and some turnovers by Lynnwood. And Meadowdale looks like a league champ in the making right now after this first half.
I couldn't agree more. The only miscue, the lone blemish on Meadowdale so far is that Tingstead scramble where it almost looked like the handoff to Hammond. Other than that, perfect. I mean, it's touchdowns of 43 yards, 27 yards, 26 yards. It just receiver after receiver after receiver. They look like they're all world right now.
Yeah, I think Tingstead's hit, I think, 5 or 6 different receivers, has 275 yards passing already just in the first half.
275.
That's what I have. I should double-check that because math isn't my strong suit, but there's a lot of numbers to add up, and he's having a heck of a half.
Yeah, so, of course, the top of the standings right now, you've got Edmonds Woodway, who is up at Snohomish. You've seen both of those teams play. Lynnwood, Meadowdale, they were the other ones kind of here on the bubble. Let's talk real quick. Let's talk about the league, the South. What are your thoughts so far about how things are shaking up? Anybody, first of all, that you didn't expect to be where they're at?
I mean, Lynnwood's got off to a great start, at 2-1 in the league and kind of 4-1 overall. And like Lynnwood's kind of the team that's been kind of building towards stuff. And you keep seeing them take these steps, and you're thinking maybe this is the year, which we thought last year, and they went, I think, like 3-2 or 4-2 to start the season. And they think maybe this year. But Lynnwood's always up there, which is fun. I mean, it's always Woodway and Meadowdale. Those are always the teams that you got to kind of. I mean, you have to dethrone the reigning champs before you can, pass it along. But with Glacier Peak gone, I kind of figured it might be Woodway and Meadowdale, and so far they're both taking care of business and not disappointing.
We'll see, of course, Edmonds Woodway up at Snohomish tonight. That's a 7 o'clock game. We'll try to get you a score as soon as we have one. Edmonds Woodway dispatching Lynnwood last week in a game which came down to missed PATs. So that's, in this league, it really, you have to play some pretty good football consistently if you're going to walk away and have the number 1 seed.
Well, yeah, and you never know, too. I mean, Lynnwood played Woodway tough, and Woodway seems to be one of the top teams, and then now Meadowdale's kind of blowing Lynnwood out here. So it's just, I mean, if you don't bring your A game every week, you could lose by 7, you could be down by 30 at half. So you got to just bring it every time because these teams are strong.
Well, and the big plays, of course, 2 or 3 big plays in a football game. If you own all 3, you're going to have a pretty good chance, and that's exactly what's happening right behind us now as you hear the band cooking, and Meadowdale is well in charge. You're doing a lot of writing now for the Seattle Times. You had a great article for one of the players that we've got on the field now, Alton Hammond, out. Tell me a little bit. You got a chance to sit down with Mr. Hammond, talk a lot of football, talk a lot of life. What are your impressions?
I've talked to Alton a couple times. He always seemed to strike me as a really good kid, really well-spoken, really just nice to hang out with. He talked a little bit about his shoulder. He has cerebral palsy in his right shoulder, which has limited a little bit of the growth and development, the motion of his right arm. Obviously, the left-handed quarterback, but he's still throwing. He's got, I think, 100 and some yards passing too, 113 yards passing. He still plays linebacker and tackles players and doesn't really let it stop him or get to him. And I thought it was just a really cool story. And he kind of opened up about it. And Lynnwood head coach County Bankhead mentioned how just amazing it is for him to see that every day and have him out there, giving it his all and trying, just as hard, if not harder than other players, just because of his situation. But just, I mean, a really cool story and a kid who's just determined to kind of keep playing football and see where he can end up.
And I imagine that if you're watching tonight on the Sound Live Sports Network and you didn't know that fact, you probably didn't recognize that there was anything different about number 5.
No, and that's what Bankhead said. I mean, he said he can tuck the ball in both arms. He can wrap up and tackle on defense. And I talked to the Marysville Pilchuck coach, Brendan Carson, and I told him, what the deal was. He goes, wow, I had no idea. I have even more respect for him now, knowing that, cause we thought maybe he just was a little banged up or something, holding his arm a little bit closer. But no, Bankhead said if you didn't know and if you weren't watching it, you wouldn't be able to tell any difference from number 5 on the field.
Now think about this too. You got a kid that, obviously has a shoulder that isn't quite as functional as maybe some of us. Plays basketball.
Yeah, no,
and does a phenomenal job.
Was phenomenal
running up and down the court, putting the ball in the hoop. He can score the ball.
Yeah, I think he's listed at 5'8", 210, I think, on the roster. He's a load to bring down in football. He's a load to try and guard on the basketball court. I mean, he's just a phenomenal all-around athlete, and it's really cool to see kids like that, who go through some additional adversity to succeed and have a good athletic high school experience, and hopefully, continue it at the next level.
Alton Hammond, starting quarterback for the Lynnwood Royals, is who we're talking about. David Kruger here did the article in the Seattle Times, which you can take a look at online and in the newspaper. A kid that very soft-spoken. You would think that here is a kid that has gone through all this adversity, able to pretty much have his way with the athletic world, even though he has a bit of a handicap. What else does this guy do? I mean, for crying out loud, it seems like he's got everything he needs except for a shoulder.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, you really can't tell unless you're really looking, unless you're on the field, in the huddle. Maybe you can notice him doing something, but no, up in the sense in the press box, he's running for 15, 20-yard runs, throwing 20, 30-yard passes. I mean, until it was made aware to me by a parent, I had no idea anything was going on.
You and me both.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. David Kruger from doing some work for the Seattle Times on the Sound Live Sports Network on the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. We're going to take a quick break here on the program, and if you'll stick around for another 5 minutes, is that good?
Sure.
We'll get you again. We'll talk a little football outside the league, if you don't mind, and we'll do that here in just a moment. Thanks for being with us. Again, 41-14 your score here at the half. Meadowdale on top of Lynnwood. We'll take a break on the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back on the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show here on the Sound Live Sports Network. David Kruger, our guest here at halftime, and checking the scores. Anything we need to know that we're missing?
I haven't seen a whole lot yet. I think most games are just starting to get underway here pretty soon. I like the early game. It's fun to kind of be here early and have a double dose of football on a Friday night, so I can't complain yet.
Let's talk some controversy. Of course, the world loves a little controversy, and of course, Archbishop Murphy right in the heat of some. They're deep in controversy because nobody wants to play the team. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing, hearing. What's the lay of the land on Archbishop Murphy?
Well, I mean, there's an article in the Times Today by Jada Evans, and I'd never seen a football team call a press conference to say, no one will play us. It's just a really weird situation. I think it happened in Rhode Island or something. I think I saw earlier, like a year or two ago. I mean, I get it. For South Whitby, I really understand. I mean, 14 players I think they had. I mean, safety concerns about the players. And, I mean, if you get 2 or 3 kids dinged up, you don't have a team anymore. That one I totally get. The other teams, the Granite Falls, and I think Sultan, too, is the other one that just forfeited and didn't want to play. I mean, I understand. I mean, the fan of me and the competitors, go out and maybe do it. But I completely understand the safety issue, and I see why they're doing it. Kings almost didn't. Kings was debating it, too, and then they had a team vote, and they said, we want to go out and play. And that was the last game, I think, that Murphy played, and I was there, and it was 10-0 at halftime. Kings was really hanging with them, and then they pulled away late in a 38-0 win. But it's Murphy's just so far ahead of those other teams in the Cascade Conference that whether it's a safety issue, a competitive issue, it's just, I mean, they really probably should be facing tougher competition on a weekly basis.
It's a little unfortunate, not just for the teams that don't want to play that lose games or lose the ability to play, but right now, 3 weeks now, you've sitting on the outside watching everybody else play if you're an Archbishop Murphy fan or a player, and you don't get to compete. So where does this competition come from if it's going to come?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ideas been thrown around. There's been the private public league that people have loved for years, but that's tough to kind of travel and to arrange that if there's enough private league teams. I mean, does Murphy tried to join Wesco, and they were told no, pretty much.
Unceremoniously dismissed, yes.
Pretty unanimously. I think it was unanimous from the coaches and ADs that they didn't want to have them in Wesco. Because, again, that's a lot of their recruiting turf for them. They're a lot of 50-mile radius. They're talking maybe limiting that, making that, just 20 or making kids sit out a year or two if they're going to transfer to Murphy. So there's a lot of ways to do it. I don't know what the best one is, but I think that now with this happening, with the national and international attention this is getting at this point in time, the WIA and the Cascade Conference and the state have to do something to get them in a league where this isn't happening every week. So, I mean, the players, they want to play. I mean, they're the top-ranked 2A team in the state, I think, despite having, only played half their schedule. And they got some amazing players that are fun to watch. You look at Gurley and Colin Montez and Ben Hines and Kyler Gordon. I mean, they got kids that can be playing on Saturdays next year, but they're not going to play on Fridays this one.
And that's tough. It's tough to swallow, tough to watch from a broadcasting standpoint, from a fan standpoint. You want to see these kids on the field. One last thing, let's touch quickly on the 4A conference. We don't do a lot of that here now that all the Edmonds district schools are 3A.
Yeah.
What are you seeing on 4A that lights a fire for you?
Monroe looks fantastic, making their debut in
the
AP poll
now.
But I mentioned, kind of jokingly, they went to that Glacier Peak game last week thinking it'd be a shootout, thinking it'd be a close game, and they won by 58. I think it was 64-6 or something like that. Just an insane score for Monroe. And I mean, the offense looks good. They have so many weapons with J.J. Jerome, a running back, Isaiah Cole, receiver, Zach Zimmerman, a senior quarterback. Their line probably rivals Murphy's in terms of size and talent, athleticism. And Monroe, if they get rolling, they got kind of all the pieces that they can make a good run. And I mean, Glacier Peak was one of the teams that was expected to compete there for that 4A title in their first year in 4A, and they took him to town. So I mean, they still got
behind the woodshed.
They still got Lake Stevens, and that's going to be kind of their last challenge, I think, and that's their last league game of the regular season in Week 9. And I don't think it's going to be a 60-point win, but I think it's going to probably be another big win for Monroe, and maybe you see the Bearcats down in Tacoma later this year.
Well, there you go. There's your prediction. Bearcats out of the 4A Wesco. They're in the driver's seat. Of course, this game here, a meaningful one as far as the shakeout on the standings. David Kruger, thank you so much for taking the time. Always fun.
Oh, my pleasure.
We always
Thanks for
have a good
having
time. You bet. The Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. We'll take a break. 41-14, your score here at the half. The Lynnwood Royals trailing the Meadowdale Mavericks. We'll take a break. We'll see you.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. The Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show in the books. And we are ready for some football here as Lynnwood will take the second half kickoff and see if they can't break into the large disadvantage they have right now in both the scoreboard and total yards. Total yards so far, Scott Brudevold, 385 total yards for Meadowdale. The Mavs, well-oiled offense machine, 141 yards for Alton Hammond and the Lynnwood Royals.
Yeah, I was talking to some people at halftime, some press people and some coaches, and I said, my opinion, I thought that's the best first half of offense I've seen all year that I've witnessed. They were just on fire.
Yeah, and I'd agree with that. Meadowdale, of course, quarterback Tingstead, 13 for 18. Here's your stat. Of course, David Kruger from the Seattle Times mentioned this earlier. 304 yards of passing offense with 4 touchdown strikes.
That's a ball game right there.
That's an aerial assault for a half of football, on pace for 608 yards passing. Roberts with 7 catches, 187 yards and a TD. Schaefer a couple of catches for 42 yards and a TD. And then you've got Butler leading all rushers, 6 for 40 yards. And he's a little tandem with Marshall, 7 for 17 yards. Not bad for the Navy and white. Lynnwood, Alton Hammond, 8 for 12 for 102 yards passing with a 1 interception. And then you've got also having him run 11 carries for 25 yards. Mikey Kirkman, Lorenzo, 8 for 28 yards on the ground. So not quite the output. They put together a couple good drives, and a couple of them ending up in turnovers. So you've got to stop that and continue to do what you do well, and that is chew up long ground game yardage. if you're Lynnwood right now.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you have 2 turnovers for Lynnwood, 1 for the Mavericks, and all 3 of the turnovers costed them. I mean, the Mavericks were driving when Hammond stripped the ball from Tigstad, and both turnovers Lynnwood had, the Mavericks scored.
There's the end-over-end kick. This one right into the bread basket at the 25-yard line for Lynnwood. Trong with the catch.
And I think,
actually, that was not Trong, but James Heck.
I think Lynnwood's going to have to. They can't be too deliberate. They're going to have to get out and get something going fast. Just to get some momentum going for their players and get on the scoreboard, because you're down 4 or 5 touchdowns now. You got to get something rolling.
And you mentioned earlier that you thought at halftime that Coach Bankhead was going to have to address the blitz.
Yes.
And we'll see if that was actually they can shore that up at all. Here's the in-line handoff to Kirkman on a fumble, and the Mavericks say they got it back, and indeed that's the indication. So one play from scrimmage and a turnover.
Yeah, I mean, and that really hurts the Royals. Mavericks will get the ball in great field position, popped right out of Kirkman's hand and right into number 57, Hunter Colt, 5'11", 220-pounder.
He's been there a couple times.
Yeah, he has been there, and he gobbled that thing up like he should. And now you're giving Mr. Tingstead a ball on the 34-yard line. This could be dangerous.
Well, not only dangerous, but they come down and score in a hurry. It may be an early nail meets coffin scenario for the Lynnwood Royals. We'll see if they can answer on defense. Handoff.
Butler.
About the 31-yard line. So Meadowdale, almost like they got their own, they got the kickoff after the half.
Yeah, I mean,
as it turns out.
Yeah, if you're the Royals, that's exactly what you didn't want to have happen.
2 tight ends, the handoff once again to Butler, and Butler escapes through the defensive backfield and into the end zone. Touchdown! That kid can run, he can catch, and he can score the football.
And like I said earlier in the first half, once you give him a little room, he's gone. And he had a hole right there right off the left side of the center, and he went through the 2 gap, and he was gone.
A 31-yard TD run by Jashawn Butler. And waiting the Schaefer PAT. Meadowdale. Boy, do they not look like they belong in the top 2. If not the top spot in the Wesco right now.
Yeah, I think they've looked as good as. This is the first time I've got to see them live this year, and they look as good as anybody I've seen all year.
Tingstad with the hold and Schaefer with the kick. It is through and good. We have a 48-14 score. Lynnwood will get the kickoff, but it's all Mavericks right now with 11:14 to go, third quarter. We'll be back on the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Sam. Yeah. Meadowdale having to get past one tough opponent in the Wesco 3A. Is it doing it fly swatter style? It's almost an annoyance.
Yeah, they've been really, really impressive. And the Royals, there's your 3rd turnover and a 3rd touchdown for the Mavs. So they're taking advantage of the Royals' mistakes.
Yeah, 21 points off turnovers for the Mavericks. Not quite the difference in the ball game, but boy, it doesn't matter. It really does.
No, it does matter. Yeah.
So Lynnwood going to try to scrape together some offense here and see if they can't at least lick their wounds and get back into this ball game a little bit. You've still got 2 full quarters. You're only 40 47 seconds gone by here in this third quarter of play. So there's a whole lot of football.
There's lots of time
left to go. But you can't quite have the body language that you see out of Lynnwood right now. They are reeling.
Yeah, it looks like they are. And, but maybe a quick strike and they can get something going. They can get some positive plays going, and the boys can get it moving.
Hammond back to pass. Looks over the middle. And it is just outside the outstretched arms of the intended receiver, Jared Anderson.
Because of the being down by so many points, I think they're going to have to throw the ball. I mean, I think Hammond's going to have to air it out just so they can try to get close. And saying that, that Meadowdale is going to play 2 deep zone, and they're going to blitz linebackers to get pressure on him. So it's going to be an interesting chess match here.
Both teams 4-1 on the season, although Lynnwood with a loss in league play to Edmonds Woodway last week puts them at 3rd in the Wesco South standings. And Meadowdale looking exactly like they belong at the top. And if they win this one, would go to 4-0. And Edmonds Woodway would then have to beat Snohomish, where they are playing a 7 o'clock ball game tonight, in order to stay even. A lot of football left to be played. Hammond in the shotgun formation, back to pass, has another blitz coming, and that looked like the receiver was drawn down. They say incomplete. That was some bang-bang play there. The intended receiver is Andrew Warren again. Great defensive pressure, both on the quarterback and on the receiver.
And I actually thought, you called that right, I thought he got pulled down before the ball got there, but the refs did, and that's the ones that count. So it looks like the Royals are going to punt.
4th down and 6 with 10:29, and don't want to bury yourself any further than you already have.
Yeah, that's true.
But your defense hasn't stopped anybody yet either.
No.
There's the punt. It is away. The deep man for Meadowdale gets away from it. That was Roberts. And they will take over on their own 32-yard line. 10:19 to go here in the third quarter of play. 48-14. It's all Meadowdale.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. Still in the ball game, Tingstad will hand the ball off, and once again, guess who? The guy that got the quarterback the last time they had a drive, just Sean Butler, just keeps on going to the house. 67 yards for the score. Butler just keeps on keeping on. Wow.
Man, that was an impressive run. And Lynnwood, they tried to arm tackle him, and it just didn't work. He just kept going. I think Lynnwood thought they had him down twice on that play, and he kept those legs going. And then once he gets to open field, like we've been saying all night, he's gone.
Boy, an early candidate for the Adrenaline Sports Fundraising Player of the Game, if I've seen one right now. On my top of my chart is the 5'8", 165-pound junior. And the kick is up and through. $10:05 to go here in the third. 55-14. Mavs continue to grind down the Lynnwood Royals. We'll take a break. Meadowdale with 2 touchdowns in a minute 7.
Yeah.
Both under the legs of number 1 in Navy, Deshaun Butler. 131-yard touchdown run. And then you just witnessed a 67-yard Butler TD run. That's only 2 of his 3. He's also got an 18-yarder to tack onto that. And that young man, not even your starting running back. That's what's amazing. Roa. Actually, that's not Roa again. Again, Heck. James Heck. I've blown that twice now. My apologies to Mr. Heck. But Butler, he may earn himself a starting job, although he's only a junior. And Kella Marshall, a captain and a senior running back on this team. You'd imagine he would take a lot of the snaps when it gets down to.
Well, what a great 1-2 combo.
Oh,
you know, and they
you
both.
got them. Use them. You got the tools in the box.
You bet.
You got to use them.
And they both can fly. You know, so nice weapons to have if you're coaching. Coach Leonard.
And now the handoff will go over the middle in the wing T. And that was Connor Bjornsson, a 5'10", 200-pound sophomore, getting some carries for the Royals. Made a nice job of his first carry of the night, 8 yards.
Good run, good run.
And Lynnwood trying to just lick their wounds here and try to get out of this one healthy and still in some sense of practice and an offensive wherewithal, because you're struggling right now. You've got to have to make something good out of what you're given here in the final two quarters of play.
Yeah, you got to get some positive stuff going, and you know you got half a season left, and you don't want to go, you know, start the second half of the season on a down note. You want to have something positive going, and a couple drives and some good defense, and maybe they're not going to win this game, but they can get back in it.
It may be tough to come back out of the West Coast. Kirkman Lorenzo with the carry will cross the midfield stripe and into Meadowdale territory. But you get down to where things stack up at the end of the season. You want to, if you can't be 1 and 2, because it looks like you're going to lose to maybe the 1 and the 2 here in back-to-back weeks. You got to do everything you can to be number 3, and it starts here in the second half of this contest.
Yeah, you want to get into that crossover game, and you know where you can play somebody and get a seed and keep rolling. The ultimate goal is to get to the state championship.
There's Hammond, Alton Hammond, almost was picked up. Roberts will go all the way past the 20 to the 10 and into the end zone. The second interception, run back for a TD by Meadowdale, and Hammond is pointing to a flag on the field, and we may be coming all the way back. It may be a hold. We'll see. If that's the case, you can bet that Meadowdale will say, "Nah, we'll take the 7 points."
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think they're going to get number 54, Levi Kowalski. I think they're going to get him on a block in the back, and I think they're going to give the reception to the Mavericks, and then they're going to run the penalty 15 yards from where the block in the back was.
Here's the referee, Ryan Fleming.
Personal foul, intercepting team number 54. That 15-yard penalty was forced 15 yards and was foul. For the Meadowdale ball, first down.
So that's exactly right, Scott. They're going to back it all the way up to the other side of midfield. But Meadowdale will get the ball back.
Yeah,
or keep the ball on the pick.
Good thing for the Mavs, they got the ball. Bad thing is, took away the interception by Roberts. But I saw 54 coming off the field, and one of his coaches met him, and it was pretty obvious he was not happy with what happened there.
Clock at 6:12 is moving continually now. So even though they mark off yardage, because it is a 40-point contest, the clock will not stop except for the quarter and timeouts. Here's the handoff once again to Butler. Actually, that is not. That goes to Jesus Hernandez into the ball game. Back up senior running back, 5'9", 175 pounds, and Hernandez ahead for 2.
And if you're Meadowdale, why not give the twos some run? You know, guys work hard in practice all year and stuff. You're up by 40 points. Give them a chance to get the ball.
Hernandez will remain in the ball game next to Tingstad. Twins on the far side. They'll put the man in motion. Hernandez now gets a big block, goes around the left-hand side. Right-hand side is finally knocked out of bounds there by Andrew Warren.
And that looked like he was fumbling the ball as he's running, and he luckily kept it and got out of bounds.
Keep it in the kitchen because it was percolating a little bit there as he turned the right-hand corner. And that'll bring up third down. 3rd and 2 with the ball on the 44-yard line. We're in the third quarter, under 5 minutes to play. But a moving clock as they'll put the man in motion. That's Plummer, the tight end, and Tingstad will hit Plummer. Coming back around the other side, and now a penalty flag as Plummer was hit out of bounds by Bjornsson.
Yeah, and I think that's a frustration foul. Plummer's slow to get up on the field. He yanked him down when he was probably 3 or 4 yards out of bounds, and Plummer's limping on that foot. Lynnwood's got to keep their cool. I mean, I understand it's been a long game, but you just hurt your team 15 more yards by not keeping your cool, because he was way out of bounds. And he
already had the first down.
Yeah. Connor Bjornsson was the one that got called for the penalty.
Meadowdale, after tonight, will play Shorecrest at Shoreline Stadium next weekend, next Friday. And of course, Shorewood and Shorecrest, the Shoreline schools, a combined 1 for 9 this season. So you would think that one would be not a chip shot, but certainly
good chance of winning.
You got a good chance at putting another win in the undefeated league column in league play. And then you get to play Edmonds Woodway, the jam, the stand, stadium jam, whatever you want to call it. And that one always a big draw and always a very fun ball game to call.
Oh, yeah, and again, like I said, you get
little feedback on the referee mic.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
You know, and you talk about that Edmonds-Meadowdale game. That's one of those games where you just throw the records out because it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. We've seen some mighty fine Meadowdale teams get beat and some very good Edmonds Woodway teams get beat. And, you're exactly right. It's one of those rivalry games. The kids grow up with one another. They play on the same teams when they're young.
Yep.
It's a pride thing, and they're just a lot of fun. If there's a game you want to circle on the calendar and get down here to Edmonds District Stadium, that would be the one, the Edmonds Woodway Shoreline game on Friday, October 21st. Of course, the week before Halloween, so you got time. You're not going to be out. Get down, get to the stadium, and watch some football.
And let me tell you this, it will be packed, so you want to get here early.
Tingstad on the swing out, bounces one in. Incomplete, not missing a beat is Austin Goulet, a 5'8", 155-pound junior. He wants to run. He's wound up.
Well, it's funny. Tingstad looked right at the ref and started giving him the signal like it's been tipped. Well, the ref knew that, but he's trying to sell it because he didn't want to. I don't know why he was doing that, but he was doing it.
3rd down and 10 with the ball on the 34-yard line. Clock under 2 minutes now in the running clock. Continuing to go down, down, down. Tingstad under some pressure, sack behind the line.
Jacob Laban.
You got a couple of big boys there, including Jacob Laban. And you also had number 50, Harris Katuk, 6'1", 225-pound senior. Seniors, it matters. Every single snap, the last few you're going to get ever wearing pads.
It's the last time they're going to get to play Meadowdale.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to bring it.
Yeah, you're going to go. And those guys, at Lynnwood, a lot of those Lynnwood kids have grown up playing against a lot of these Meadowdale kids, just like we were talking Edmonds Woodway. And, there's a lot of friendships out there, but when you put the other color uniform on, you're not friends anymore for this night.
Trips on the far side. Now the handoff will go to Hernandez, who stopped right about the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard gain. And that'll be a turnover on downs. 44 seconds to go here in the third quarter, one of the quickest quarters we've had in recent memory, thanks to a onslaught of offense out of Meadowdale. Put up 21 points in the first quarter, extended the lead to 41-14 at the half, and then tacked on a couple of more just for good measure, and 55-14 is where we sit now with one play before the break between third and fourth quarter. So that's going to be a tough hoss to drag down if you're any of the teams in the remaining schedule. Bounce or two. It almost looked like Alton Hamill dribbled the ball twice off the turf and finally picked it up and fell incomplete. And that will be the end of the third quarter.
That just shows you how athletic he is. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks, that ball hits the ground, they just want to cuddle it and get down. But he's so athletic, he's able to pick up that ball with one hand and still make it dynamite.
Are you saying he's not a cuddler then?
No, he's not a cuddler.
That's the end of the third quarter, 55-14, Lynnwood trailing the Mavericks. And Mavericks with the ball. We'll see what they can do in the final. Actually, it's Lynnwood that's got the ball. We'll see what they can do on this drive as we start the final 12 minutes. We'll take a break on the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. Here are your standings for the Wesco 3A South Division. Edmonds, Woodway, and Meadowdale at the top there as Mikey Kirkman-Lorenzo will take the handoff. We'll stay right here as you look at the schedule. And after this ball game, Meadowdale will leapfrog Edmonds, Woodway into that first spot, awaiting the Edmonds Woodway final at Snohomish. So there's your schedule, and that's the game we were talking about. Second from the bottom, the jam the stands, Meadowdale and Edmonds Woodway will play on Friday, October 21st. One of those games that everybody comes out to. Get into the stands early. As Hammond back to pass now, looks long, has a man open, and almost right at the feet of Bryce Mill. Bryce needed to be about 6'7" there. He might have had a shot at it.
Yeah, if he could have been a little bit taller. And I think Hammond just threw that one to the area. He's been picked a couple times tonight. I think it's in his mind. So instead of trying to thread the needle like he has, but he just threw it to the area, hoping his receiver could outrun the defenser and come up with it, but it didn't happen.
Second down and 10 with the ball just inside midfield on the Meadowdale side of the 50. 10:41 to go in the ball game. Handoff. No handoff. Play action. It'll be Hammond who just sidesteps a couple of defenders and runs his way for, 15 yards.
Yeah, well, it's no big deal. I mean,
walk in the park.
He's just, he will take this team on his shoulders. And I guarantee you that young man's not giving up. He's still fighting and chewing for everything he can get. He just will not stop playing hard. That just shows you the competitor he is.
First down and 10 with the ball on the 36-yard line. Lynnwood, of course, in the white and black. Meadowdale in the navy and white. And there's the pass over the middle. Caught at the 20-yard line. Now the 15 down to the 10. Finally dropped at the 5-yard line is Ryan Terong, who's had himself a very good evening. Of the bright spots out of this Lynnwood offense, you can circle that name right there next to number 25.
And he's only a junior. Yeah, he's had a great night. He's caught a lot of balls. That was a nice route, a nice throw by Hammond. hit him right on stride. Nice play by the Royals.
4 catches for 58 yards for Trong so far tonight. And here is the handoff. Mikey Kirkman Lorenzo rolls his way down to the 1. So a very good drive by Lynnwood, but too little too late. And a score just after the kickoff in Snohomish. Edmonds Woodway already up 7-0 over the Panthers. And did we get a score into the end zone? It is a touchdown. Lynnwood with the score. And of course, I was reading the score, Scott, and I did not see the ball carrier.
I didn't see. I think it was Kirkman. But the more important thing is Lynnwood scored, and they needed that. And, you know, now they're extra point. And of course, the clock is running.
Yeah, it's running out of daylight.
Yeah.
It's the sun is headed over the horizon already if you're Lynnwood. They've got 8:55 to go, but now with that score, they keep the clock from running, right? So they are able to at least get some more time in which to work. 55-21. After the PAT, Lynnwood with the score makes it a little easier to swallow if you're a Royals fan. But that's a big score up there in Snohomish already. It would be interesting to run up there and watch that one.
Yeah, you know, the Warriors, if they win up there and they both win next week, that's going to make that game on the 21st. Is that it? 21st? It's going to make...
That's the 21st. You're right.
Yeah.
October 21.
That's going to be a heck of a game. That's going to be a really nice game.
Lynnwood looked great in the early season, about as great as they looked. Edmonds Woodway looked bad. And it almost seems as if the roles have reversed completely 180 degrees.
Well, one thing that we got to keep in mind is we saw Edmonds Woodway play a very, very good Woodinville team that right now is undefeated in Kinko. And I think it was first game of the season, and I think I jumped into too much of thinking, well, Edmonds Woodway's down.
Got nothing, yeah.
And because they went out and they've beaten Bothell, they've beaten everybody over there, and they've got an outstanding defensive team.
8:55 to go. Lynnwood will take it in at the 36-yard line and start the drive. It'll be interesting now to see how much of the second string Meadowdale will bring back onto the field now that the clock has stopped and Lynnwood showing some sign of life.
I think you're going to play your second string now. I don't know. Is Teenstad going to be out there quarterbacking? No, it doesn't look like it. They're going to bring in number 12.
Looks like Drew Harvey. Well, we'll see if it's Drew Harvey actually gets the snaps. He's listed as the wide receiver. And now we've got some whistles as we've got a timeout on the field. Lynnwood wants to talk things over. And so we will take a break ourselves. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network. 55-21, all Mavs.
We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at edcc.edu/programs.
The new quarterback is a sophomore, Kelby Lewis, 6 foot.
And a fumble.
And a fumble. And just like that, your one snap will get returned right back to Lynnwood. And you can see Mr. Lewis just roll his helmet back and stare at the stars after that happened.
Yeah, that's not what you want to happen on your first snap.
The clock will continue to move even though it's inside 40 points now, because once you've crossed the threshold, you never get it back.
Nope.
That's a dangerous, dangerous line to walk.
And it looks like the Mavs got their 2s in across the line, too.
And we've got a new starting quarterback for the Royals also. So we'll get a chance to get some reps for some other kids. Here's the handoff. They'll hand the ball off to Connor Bjornsson, who gets forward for 4 yards.
And this is a neat time for like a lot of the kids that haven't got a lot of playing time because of close games this year. And now they're out there and they're getting to play in some valuable time. I mean, you got 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They're getting some PT. This is really neat for these kids.
Eric Vo, the backup quarterback, listed as a wide receiver, but 5'10", and a senior in that wishbone behind him. Will take the snap and now pocket it and carry it forward into about the first down marker. He might be just short, but a nice run on the keeper by Vo.
You know what? He read his blocks well. He just got right behind his offensive tackle and followed him all the way to the hole. And it looks like they're going to give him the first down.
Good job for that young man. You can tell he's excited.
Yeah.
Popped right up off the pile.
You know, Mom and Dad are sitting in the stands. They're watching. Maybe a girlfriend, whatever. You know, that's big time. He's out on the field. It's Friday Night Lights.
6:54 to go here in the contest. A reminder that after this one, Mount Lake Terrace and Everett will have the nightcap, the 8 p.m. ball game. Vince DeMuro and Steve Willits with the call. And now here's the play action on the quarterback read, and Vo will take it in himself on that right-hand side. Gets about the 20, the numbers here in front of us.
And the Mavs, you can see where they've got a lot of sophomores in the game right now. That tackle was made by number 18.
A lot on the roster, and you know, I see a couple of freshmen that have made the varsity roster also for this Meadowdale team, and Hunter Moen and Francisco Pena, 2 with the number 9 in their year column there. That's impressive. To make a varsity roster as a freshman, you've got to have some special ability.
That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Second down and 6 with the ball on the 20. Again, in 2 attempts here. Lynnwood is inside the red zone there, and toward a strike toward the end zone. Did he hang on? He did. Touchdown. Lynnwood is not done. That was hauled in by James Heck, the junior, and the wide receiver puts more on the board.
And, you know, the Meadowdale had 2 guys on him, and all 3 of them jumped for the ball, and Mr. Heck came down with it. A great catch.
A 20-yard pass play to Heck from Vo.
And that's something you got to feel good about if you're the Royals. You know, you came in, had a nice drive. Good job.
And the PAT is through and good. It is 55-28, 5:43 to go in the ball game. We'll take another break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network. Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. Lynnwood making it interesting, 55-28 with 5:43 to go. And, of course, the game coming up right after this one, it's the Seagulls coming in out of Everett, coming down I-5 to face the Mount Lake Terrace Hawks, an 8 p.m. contest. Steve Willits, Vince DeMuro with the call. We hope you'll stick around for the second one on the Sound Live Sports Network. We still got a bit of ball game left here, although it's been almost entirely the Meadowdale Mavericks. And a fumble, and the ball is down. I think after it bounced around, Meadowdale was able to keep
number
on
19.
Keep on top of it.
Will Mahoney.
Maloney with the first mistake, which was getting it through his hands, and then was able to right the ship and tuck the ball in. And at that point in time, you give it right back to Lynnwood. Maybe you're thinking things a little differently in the final 5 minutes if you're Meadowdale.
You might have to put the ones back in. But let's see what the Mavs do. I doubt they're going to throw the ball. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be run, run, run. But I've been wrong many times before.
And here's the handoff around the left-hand side. Sammy Al-Haddad, 5'8", 155-pound junior with the carry. Goes around left side, picks up 3.
And the clock keeps running. So, you know, if you're the Mavs now, there's no need to do anything stupid. Hand off the ball, run the clock out. That's all you got to do. You've won this game. You've done a good job. Just get these young guys some playing time and let them move that football.
2nd down and 7. Once again, Al-Haddad with the ball. Will lose 2. He gained 2 back. Or had a nice gain around the left-hand side, but going right draws even. So 2 carries for 0 net. And Lynnwood will have 3rd down and 10. I think you're exactly right. You run the football, keep everybody healthy.
Yep, get them off the field, and then if you got to kick it, you kick it. Because the way the clock's running with the running clock, there's no, I mean, it's almost impossible for Lynnwood to be able to strike that fast and come back.
Into the shotgun formation and penalty flags as the
Somebody jumped, somebody flinched on that offensive line.
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense, number 57, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's exactly what happened. And it only took us 4 quarters to figure out the ref mic on the board.
And now
that was kind of fun.
now you can see that the Mavs, it looks like they're going to pass because they're so far. You got 3rd and 15. And they're going to give the sophomore time to throw it, and he's wide open.
Lewis back to pass and just can't quite connect with Austin Goulet.
He was wide open. Thought that had to be a breakdown in the coverage because there was nobody around him.
And that'll bring it 4th down, and that's a kicking team situation.
And there's a sophomore quarterback that's probably getting his first PT of the year and got it a little jitters, and he saw how open he was, and he
got a little air under
got
it.
a little air. He threw the ball, got a little excited, and he'll learn from that. That's a good learning experience. Now Meadowdale's got to get an extra guy on the field for the punt.
The clock continuing to spin down. If you're Meadowdale right now, you just hang on as long as you have to. And the punt is away, and a beauty backing up the deep man. Finally, Evan Ward will corral it and take it up that left-hand side. Dropped at the 30-yard line.
That was a beautiful punt.
Beautiful punt.
Yeah, that was real nice.
Got enough of it. Got it up into the stratosphere. Out of the lights, it got up so high. That one had snow on it by the time it came down. And now Lynnwood, with their final drive of the ball game, have just under 2 minutes to go by the time they rally the cavalry. And they will go to 4-0 in the Wesco 3A South. And 5-1 overall. The only Meadowdale loss was to the Bearcats of Monroe to open the season, and a Bearcat team that is very, very good 4A football team.
They're undefeated.
Undefeated and into the top 10 in the state of Washington.
They really got a great squad this year. And in fact, in that 4A division between them and Lake Stevens, you got 2 quality, really, really good teams.
So Meadowdale, if that's your litmus test and a 55-9 loss, you'll take it.
Well, that Meadowdale and Edmondsville, they both kind of got lost to a big 4A school that's undefeated, and that's your first game of the season. You took your lumps, you went out and you played somebody good, and then from then on they really shined.
Hernandez will get the first down, stay on his feet, still pumping forward with under a minute to play. So Meadowdale, after that loss, beat Redmond in the second game of the season 30-0. Then snuck by Everett 47-40. And that one, a toughie for the Seagulls, who find themselves at the bottom of the heap now. And then beat Mount Lake Terrace 41-7, beat Shorewood 42-0, and then are dominating this contest. Really a lot, not quite as close as the 55-28 that you see on the scoreboard right now. It could have easily been 55-7.
Yeah.
Penalty flags.
Yeah, Meadowdale guy jumped off sides.
And that will likely be the last play of the game,
Yep.
penalty or no penalty.
Are they going to give him one free play?
Now, normally you cannot finish a ball game on a penalty, but they say that will do it.
Yeah.
And I concur.
Yeah. Ball game over.
55-28 the final here at Edmonds District Stadium. All Meadowdale from the opening drive. And they'll take this one to the top of the Wesco 3A standings. We'll take a break and come back with our Adrenaline Sports Fundraising Player of the Game in a moment on the Sound Live Sports Network.
High school Sound Live Sports is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, Snohomish County place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LynnwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Plumbing for 24-hour service. Clogging most internal drains for just $99. Call 425-7560 or visit action.com.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. A throttling by Meadowdale over Lynnwood to put Meadowdale at the top of the standings in the 3A South Division. And I'm with our Adrenaline Sports fundraising player of the game, Jalen Butler, Deshaun Butler. I did it. I said I wouldn't do it, and I did it.
You're
Deshaun Butler with the player of the game honors tonight. And let's talk, first of all, about coming in and not even starting a ball game. You got a guy in front of you, a senior, who is a pretty good running back.
Great running back.
Talk a little bit about the tandem you guys have that you pose in that backfield. Talk about your teammate.
Kelly's a great running back, you know. Together back there, we run teams together. You know, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just so excited that we got this W together as a team. And, but great running back also, you know.
I think he's going to say the same thing about you. I think it's mutual. You were responsible solely on your legs and with your hands on that pick six for 4 touchdowns in this ball game. Have you had a game like that in your career?
Besides when I was a little kid, you know, but no, never in my high school career. I've never had 4 touchdowns in a game before, and it's very exciting. And
you're having a good time, aren't you?
Yeah,
How about those big linemen that were opening up the hole for you tonight?
Oh, my gosh.
Because I was telling Keith during the game, once you got that gap, you were gone.
Yeah, my linemen, I love them so much, man. This game is because of them. They really put on this game, and they were making holes just like the Red Sea just split open. I just saw it.
And that Lynnwood defensive line is very good and big.
Big, yeah.
Yeah.
Walk us through step by step on that pick six you had. It came down to where Lynnwood really had a shine of hope. They get that ball back, start in the second half. They're able to get a good charge in, maybe get a score. Things may be a little different. And then you step up and walk into a pass, and it was more than a walk-in. Step in. What did you see out of the eyes of Alton Hammond?
First, we were in man, and the outside receiver just did a slant, and I read it. I shot the gap, and Alton, as soon as Alton looked at him, I just knew he was about to throw it. So I just jumped the pass, and it all went good from there.
I think the whole game went good. An outstanding job. 4 touchdowns on the night. Adrenaline Sports Fundraising Player of the Game, and Jashawn Butler, a junior.
Thank you so much.
Walking away with the T-shirt. Let's get the photo. There you go. One more question. You got a decent game next week. I'm going to put that in your pocket so you don't forget it and walk away. You've got one of the Shorewood School or Shore Crest next week. And then you got a couple games that are a little bit on the tilt right now. What do you think? Do you have any predictions going forward through this? You guys look mighty good.
Oh, we're going to win all of them. I have so much faith in my team, and we just get better and better every day in practice, and I'm so proud of them right now, and we're going to win them.
Well, there you go. You heard it. And, of course, October 21st is the game that we're talking about, the Jam the Stands game against the Edmonds Woodway Warriors, the crosstown rivals. Outstanding job tonight. 4 touchdowns. Adrenaline Sports Player, Fundraising Player of the Game. Mr. Butler, go celebrate.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Take care.
Thank you.
And that is it for us here on the Sound Live Sports Network, because we have got to both unravel our Player of the Game and make way for the nightcap tonight. It's the Mount Lake Terrace Hawks and the Everett Seagulls. Another 3A conference game with some playoff implications. We hope you'll stick around for that. Meanwhile, the final here, make sure I get it right, 55-28. A whole lot of crooked numbers put up by the Meadowdale Mavericks. Scott Brudeville, any final thoughts?
I just thought Meadowdale looked extremely good, especially on offense. I
So
thought
there-
the offense ticked tonight.
I couldn't agree more. So for Teresa Whipple, Angelo Como, and the crew, thank you much for joining us on the Sound Live Sports Network. We'll be back next weekend, and we hope to see you there. 55-14. Not 14. Let's get it right again. 55-28, the final. Meadowdale on top of the Lynnwood Royals. Take care.